I want to tell you a little bit about how I started out with this whole thing. I mean, I'm going to go way back into the ancient times. I began this whole journey as a young kid. I loved to color in coloring books. I'd start with the thin ones, and then my parents bought thicker ones that way back when they were cheap. They were made out of newsprint. They were so cheap, and they'd have 500 pages, and I'd fill them out. And then I'd start drawing my own, I just couldn't stop. And I'd build things and little tiny towns and all sorts of things. And then around the age of 8 or 9, I started to get really frustrated because I was drawing and I started to realize that what I was drawing did not look like the things I was trying to draw. And I found that very discouraging. And I just couldn't figure out, how do I make this happen? How do I make it work? So I didn't know what to do. And then something happened, and it was totally unexpected. It wasn't planned. It wasn't something I could manufacture. I was on vacation with my family, and we were in a campground, and I was just walking through the campground, and I looked up into the sky, and I saw a tree. The tree next to me. I saw it for the very first time. The first time I'd actually seen anything. I suddenly saw it differently. I saw it for what it really was, instead of just the idea of a tree. And so I realized I could draw it. I don't know if that realization came at that moment, but from then on, I started to be able to draw things as they appeared, as I saw them. And that was kind of blew my mind. And yeah, I gradually started to understand that if you see differently, you can draw differently and you can perceive differently. And it's the beginning stage of arting, right? Then many years of teaching and starting to figure this out and doing it scientifically, actually, figuring out brain science and how it fits in with aesthetic principles, and how to use a series of little tricks and techniques to get your non-drawing brain, the brain that kind of takes charge, talks you out of things, and kind of is bossy and tells you it knows everything but doesn't know how to see the world, that brain, how to get it out of the way so your seeing brain, which you're born with, can take over, and then you can just draw. It's kind of an automatic thing. And those things that I learned are how to trick, distract, bore, and train the non-drawing brain so the drawing brain can take over. So that's kind of the basis of what I teach at the beginning stages. In order to get you all started, I made a decision. I am going to give away my starting workshop, the first step that gets you from scribbling to a beautiful rendered drawing of your own hand in 3 hours of instruction. I'll let you know that there is also a continuing workshop after that. It's a paid workshop. You don't have to go through with that at all. This will get you started, and you're quite welcome to do this. So the other thing I was going to talk about is, you may have noticed I've started a YouTube channel. I'm still trying to figure this out a little bit. My goal and aim is to inspire people and motivate them and educate them into being more creative in their lives, what I call arting. It's not scary like making art, just arting. And so I'm going to be talking about taking risks, about small risks, easy risks, and more difficult ones, about doing things that you don't know how to do, about learning how to do things, about sharing, about encouraging, about motivation. And in particular, I'm going to probably be asking for you for input in terms of that. And so if you're interested in being involved, if you've got ideas for things you want me to cover, demonstrate, if you've got artwork that you would like to have go through a positive feedback session on video, public, and it'd be very kind and respectful, to contact me. If you're, someone I should interview that's doing something interesting, and that's anything creative, especially in the visual creative field, because that's kind of what I specialize in, I'd love to know about them. Hey, here's another one. If you've got a video you make of yourself, and it can be just something simple made with your phone or anything, of you doing something creative, visually creative, hopefully. Maybe if it's a challenge to you and you're succeeding at it or failing at it, and you want to share that, if you'd like to see it featured on the channel, submit it and I'll take a look and see if I include it. So I'm looking for all kinds of ideas and inspiration, and I've already got a list that's 100 miles long out of my own brain, but that's out of my brain. And so I also want to know what you'd like to see. In order to take the workshop, contact me. I will get you in for free. Thank you for being here. Thank you again for the community. Thank you for growing, answering my questions. Post your own questions, post your own art. Feel free to become part of the community. Thank you all for watching, and I'm just glad you're here. Thank you so much.